The city hasn't done anything major in terms of repavement in a number of years. The old city approach was every 10 years we'd go, oh, can we scrape together some money? We'd go borrow from the bank or go bond $5 million. We'd go and repay $5 million worth of streets, and we'd pay it off over 10 years. You know, $600,000 a year, pay some interest. Well, 3 years ago, our last bond payment was paid off, and so it's like, so now what do we do next, right? Do you want to go do it again? So we actually hired some consultants to come in and say, would you look at the condition of our roads? Tell us where we're at. We think they're kind of falling apart. So they came and they said, yeah, your roads are what they call a 70 out of 100. So that's okay. But on roads, what happens is you're really good, you're 100, and you're 90, and then when you get to 70, they kind of fall off the cliff, right? And they start alligatoring and things happen. And at a certain point on a road, you just got to start over, right? You can't put oil on it or do some patchwork. So the consultant said, those are the condition of your roads. We said, so what if we want to maintain our 70 for the next 10 years? And they said, you have to spend $3 million more than you're spending now, just to maintain them the way they are. So we said, fine, thank you. We put together a citizens committee, and we said, look at the roads, look at their reports, tell us, you know, should we just let them fall apart? And they came back and said, no, we really think that we should try to maintain them where we're at, with the same conditions. As we put together our 2018 budget, we looked and we said, you know what, for the first time in the history of the city, we can take all of the property tax that we collect and we're just going to put it into our road fund to start with this project. So that was about $750,000 more than we've ever done in the past. We do have $20 car tabs, and that's about $500,000 for us. We take all of our real estate excise tax, so when you sell a house, there's some fees that are paid, the city gets a piece of that, and we've thrown that all to our roads. So we're trying to get as much as we can. We are still $1 million short. So we've made a big jump towards what they've asked for, but we're not there. The city has talked for a while about, so how do you fill the gap? And so we've talked about doing some form of a tax that would apply almost exclusively to the Confluence Health group. Confluence Health is obviously a major employer in our region. They do not pay property tax in any way, shape, or form. They are exempt. The folks in Olympia have said they're exempt from tax. They're a big organization. They employ, I don't know, 3,300 in the city of Wenatchee and probably 4,000 over the entire system. And so we've looked into, and so we've really left the council with two choices today. We've said, do you want to do a B&O tax, which is a gross receipts tax, exclusively on medical that have a gross income in excess of $12 million a year? It would then not apply to your local dentist or chiropractor whose businesses pay property tax. So basically it would apply to Confluence Health. Depending on the rate, you could get probably close to the entire $1 million just right then and there. Confluence Health has come to us and said they recognize we have a problem and they're willing to help pay. They think $1 million is too much. And so they've said we will voluntarily pay $330,000 a year over the next 10 years if you don't adopt a B&O tax. We'll do it in an agreement with the city, which we can do. We call it a PILT, or a payment in lieu of taxes.